the first game breaks, we'll get you know let us put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, 2 games after this win. First year again, we're here for the first May. Can everybody give them 6 minutes?
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Let me just say one more thing. The standard at Tennessee is to be elite on defense. This is the home of Reggie White, Al Wilson, Eric Berry.
The culture that hype and everyone has created in this building, it's been phenomenal on teams, and we're only going to continue to be better. And the standard around here, I've said it before, I'll say it again, standards to be the damn best.
Who got my back? I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. We play for another. We fight for another. Every fight, every play, every round. Hey, Tennessee on 2. 1, 2. Tennessee. Ball, that team ready. Ball, that team ready. Ball, that team ready.
We've got to raise the bar, and we've got to continue to raise the bar. I don't think any of those young men, when they signed to come to Tennessee, they signed to say they wanted to come and be a part of a 7-6 program. All right, they said they wanted to come and compete for championships, SEC championships, national championships. I know that's what I want. I know that's what Tennessee wants. I know that's what the expectation is. So we've got to continue to reassess everything that we're doing and make sure that we're continuing to move the needle in the right direction.
But you know what? Let's talk a little Vols. That is not me trying to take any shine away from the phenomenal channel Talking Vols that my guy Boogie Bentley runs, so shout out to them. But let's talk a little Vols here.
Do you remember when we fell in love? I remember, don't worry. Do you remember? I remember how it all began. How could I ever forget? It's the first time. Do you remember? I can feel it before. I can feel it. I can feel it coming in the air now. I can feel it in hands. I can feel it in each other. I can feel it coming in the air now.
Good Wednesday evening. Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley, hanging out with Dauber. The X Factor's in the house. Coach Rice is here. The band is back together. We're going to talk some Tennessee football tonight. We got a glorified scrimmage. Coming up this week. That pisses some people off when I say that. Am I going to come in hot? I may come in hot tonight. I don't know. I'm a little fired up, a little feisty tonight for some reason. But we got all kinds of fun stuff to talk about. And if that offends you, if the title of this video offends you, Jason Swain had some advice this week. Dauber, what do you think about this advice? Swain tweets out, fans, you are not playing. You can look past Kent State. Players and coaches can't.
Yeah, I mean, there is little we say or do that will impact the game whatsoever. Period. Plain and simple.
Yeah. I mean, also I do love the little comment there. It says, just ask Notre Dame because, yeah, that's embarrassing loss for them. But anyway, but yeah, man. I mean, this is just a glorified scrimmage, and honestly, like watching, the NC State, I was just looking at this game as like, okay, yeah, we're getting ready for Oklahoma, and that's just what it is.
My audio is fixed. I work with a bunch of Bush League guys around here. Like, this is what happened. Rip says Boogie's off. Yeah, I know. I know. This is what happens. Dauber comes in the back room. We're talking to say, Dauber, your mic's wrong mic selected. Get it fixed real quick. We'll get dialed in. These three clowns sat in the back room with me for 10 minutes and let my audio sound like hot garbage. And then I got to come on here and let the chat tell me. Look at him. Look at him. Rips in the chat.
You didn't sound like that in the back.
You didn't sound like that in the back.
No, you
It was
didn't.
just normal,
Look at
man.
this. Oh, Appalachian a bit. Why does Boogie sound like he's in a tunnel? Carl says, Boogie, your mic sounds weird. Matt says audio is bad. Tyler, audio sounds off. Everybody is correcting me. Is it fixed? Is it better? Is it better now, Dauber? Are we dialed in? Are we fixed? Is the audio good? Is the volume okay?
You sound like you're in a cave.
Again, still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It still sounds like, yeah.
Why does it keep going back? Did this come unplugged? Why is it not letting me select my microphone? Why are we having these problems? It's not letting me select my Yeti for some reason. Let me bounce out and come back in. Dauber, take over the show. This thing. This show like without Boogie.
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
Oh,
All right, so Dauber's out for a second, too.
yeah, all right, Coach. Like I said, so just like Jason Wayne said, so how do you feel? Like I said, look, overlook
I know it pissed some people off, but glorified scrimmage, it is what it is. The fans, us as fans, can react. We can look forward to other games because we're fans. The rest of the team, the players, the coaches, they have to focus on one game at a time. Their motto is take it 1-0 each and every week. And that's, that's coach talk, but in reality, you have to set in and take it one game at a time, or you'll have a Notre Dame issue where they're looking forward and looking past Northern Illinois, which I always thought Notre Dame was overranked and overrated anyways, because even though they beat Texas A&M, Texas A&M's trash. So I'm not worried about them. And it just Tennessee, they haven't done this in the past other than Austin Peay, and I think a lot of that was just because of bad QB play. I think that was a lot of that. So I'm not really worried about the team, looking forward to it. But us as fans have full we could go ahead and start talking about Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, and I agree with you too, because it's just because even Josh Heupel, because there's actually he did a one-on-one with AP with Austin Price, and Austin Price even asked the question, like, so we all know the high expectations for this year. Obviously, it's playoffs or bust, but he brought up this team eventually reaching to national championship level. And I love how Josh Heupel's response to that was like, hey, like we gotta kind of calm this thing down a little bit, and I know it's hard for him to contain that excitement because it's like we preached on here before. He knows that this team is really dang good, a good playoff contending team. We know that it's a good playoff contending team as well. And I love just how, like I said, he quoted it because it also reminds me of, like I said, from Creed, when Rocky, is telling Adonis, like one step, one punch, one round at a time. And that's just that mindset, going through this whole season. It's just one game, one punch, just one score at a time.
Well, and then that's the way you want not just your leaders in the locker room, speaking and preaching, hey, take Kent State serious. Do not overlook them. You need to win every rep. It's not just that game. You need to win every rep, one play at a time, every 6 seconds. Plays normally last about 6 seconds at a time. Every 6 seconds, you need to win. And that's quarterbacks, that's wide receivers, that's running backs. It's the whole team. And we're more than likely going to see second, third, and fourth teamers during this game. So I want to see Tennessee's guys like Idris Farouk and Jalen Smith and company, the rest of the guys that came in late in the game and that was holding it down on defense. I know we all saw Idris Farouk lay the lumber on that NC State guy late in the game, and you could see the fire and the power that they were still playing with. They want to be as great as those first guys that were on the field representing the power T, because that's what they're there. They're playing for their brothers. They're playing for the power T. And as a coach and a guy that does with teams, that's when you got a team that's going to succeed and reach high, championship worthy things, because everybody's playing for each other. They're not there for stats. I know Boogie put out a great video earlier talking about James Pierce. James Pierce, I could go ahead and tell you, yes, he wants to get sacks, but that's not on the back of his head during the game saying, oh, I got to get a sack. No, it's what does my during that play, that assignment, what am I supposed to do? Is he causing disruptions for the offense? Yes, he's out there wrecking havoc, and that's along the whole D line. That's along the wide receiver core. They're not out there worried about how many catches they get. They're wanting to get whoever gets in that end zone, not just wide receivers or tight ends or running backs. It's whoever gets in that end zone and scores. That means touchdown Tennessee, and that means more points for Tennessee. And we all know what happens. Tennessee scores a lot of points. That defense comes on the field and shuts them down, and it means good things for Tennessee.
Right, and I agree with you too, and it's very funny because the beginning half of the game, everybody was saying like, why are we not running our fast tempo? Why do we look a little off and this and that? And then of course, following up with Nico with the interception and everything, and then everybody was just going crazy like, oh no, did we get overhyped with Chattanooga and this is and that, blah blah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you said it just right, Coach. I mean, yeah. Everybody, like, they overlooked, like, even for Nico, he overlooked that interception. He's like, okay, I mean, that's all right, it's whatever. And guys, it's a good learning curve for him, like, don't get me wrong, we all want Nico to be perfect because obviously, like the media and us as a fan base is putting him very high on this pedestal. I mean, yes, but let's be real. At the end of the day, Nico's still human. He's, like I said, he's a true freshman quarterback, and there's some of these things he's got to learn from. So, but yeah.
I mean, one thing I want to say, I know I don't want to break the lead for what when Dauber and Boogie get back in here, but the guys that I want to see Peyton Lewis show out this weekend on offense. I want to see young guys on the offensive line. I want to see Bennett Warren, Max Anderson, William Satterwhite, Gage Ginther, and Jesse Perry along the offensive line. I want to see Braylon Staley in the slot, Mike Matthews and Nathan Leacock on the outside doing their thing. I want to see Caleb Beasley, Idris Farouk, John Slaughter, Jalen Smith, Edwin Spillman doing their thing at linebacker in the back end, Marcus Gorey and Boo Carter doing their thing. So get all these young guys. Hey, we can still go down. They're plenty talented enough to go dominate Kent State with our third teamers because they're just that talented. And when they have the willpower and the team chemistry and the want to that we saw Saturday when Idris Farouk's out there laying the wood late in the game when it's a blowout, that's what you want to see from your first team, second team, third team. And that's just awesome as fans to get to watch. What do you think about that, Dauber? What do you think? What do you want to see from young guys come Saturday?
Listen, Saturday is the type of game that in years past we were still, in a dogfight late in the game, still had your starters in, and that's part of the reason why depth didn't get built. That's part of the reason why players never got better. They weren't getting coached up.
I agree.
I fully expect this game to be over. Really should be over in the first quarter. Definitely be over by halftime, and that's when you roll out guys to get experience. I heard you running down a list of guys that you want to see something from. Man, you need to be playing everybody and anybody in the water boy. That's how out of hand this game should be. You're talking a 47.5-point favorite. That's, you know, you go into that game confident and you take care of business. You want to see clean football because in 2 weeks there's a tall task coming. You know, going on the road, hostile environment, all the other things that also come along with Oklahoma, the whole Heupel returning home, Oklahoma's first SEC game. I think they're gonna have a little bit of piss and vinegar as well. You know, they didn't play well last week against Houston, so they're going to come out. They're going to try to clean things up this week, and you know, really be dialed in. You're going to get their best shot.
Y'all see where the betting spread flipped to Tennessee, and the FPI flipped to Tennessee. And I know players and coaches that they don't pay attention to any of that. But you know, one thing that I want to see is I want to see a lot of Jake Merklinger Saturday. I want Gaston Moore to get his few drives. You know, it's supposed to rain a lot the next few days. I do not want Nico getting hurt against Kent State. You know, get up 28-0 at the end of the first quarter. You know, maybe let him get one more drive in the second quarter and then pull him out. I want to see a lot of Gaston Moore. Give him some reps when he, you know, in case he has to come in for a quarter or a quarter and a half to finish out a game or something. And then I want to see a lot of Jake Merklinger because, I mean, you got to prepare for the future and take care of business first. Like you said, Dauber, you can't overlook it. You got to take care of business first. Get that first quarter, get it out of hand, and then start. And another thing I'd like to see, I want to see them pepper those wide receivers. Get those wide receivers going early in the game. Get their confidence going before they had. Not saying they lack confidence, but you know, just something that we like to see as fans, and just to build that chemistry with Nico and the wide receivers, because we did think, even though we scored 51 points, we did think early in the game last week. We thought they were a little out of rhythm. Mainly, I thought it was mainly because of 12 personnel. They're just not being used to it. But hey, it's a game where you have to bring everything. These are the hardest games. Dauber said it already. Boogie said it in the videos. These are the hardest games for a player to get up for. It especially which it helps being a night game because the fans will be, you know, a little more rambunctious. But these are the hardest games to get up for.
Yep, I totally agree.
Well, you look at Kent State and you know, they lost last week to an FCS team.
Yeah.
They never led in that game.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not a very good football team coming to Knoxville.
No.
It's one of those, you know, you look at it on paper, you overmatch this team. It is a game that you could sleepwalk through and still win, but that's not the type of game you need to play. That's not the type of mindset you need to have when 2 weeks down the road you have a pretty big and honestly, we've said it before, and that Oklahoma game is at the
Dauber, you're going out, boss.
Yeah, I was about to say you robot Dauber.
Yeah. So what he was getting to, like, it's just super important. Make sure that the guys in the locker room are focused and ready to go. Because if you recall, Xavier, who did we play after Austin P last year?
Let's see. I'm pretty sure it was Virginia, then it was Austin P, and then after that, I can't really remember. Who did we play?
Crap, it's off the top of my mind. But going back to it, I do remember we did not play good coming out after that Austin P game. It was not because you felt it.
Mm-hmm.
The approach, the lack of momentum in the program after that Austin P game. It was an
Mm-hmm.
ugly win. Yes, we slept through it and still won. But that's
Mm-hmm.
not what you want momentum wise going into these big games, SEC. If you want to really get to where you want to be, and we
Mm-hmm.
all know that's playoffs, national championship. What we've heard the national media brag about Tennessee all week,
Mm-hmm.
you got to focus on these games like this to get where you want to be in the end.
Exactly. I totally agree. Let's see. Black Metal Banjo. I say thank you for the $5 super chat. Just got my Talking Balls flat brim hat. I love it. Also, where is Curso?
That's the Boogie Cursor, man. I gotta get the what the deal is with that. I never understood what the Boogie's Cursor is. I mean, I kind of
Boogie Cursor.
do you get on my StreamYard for some reason it don't show the super chats. It just shows all the chats. It don't highlight what the super chats are. So I'm gonna let you if you need to go through all the super chats real quick while we're waiting.
I was about to say Jeff. I say with the $5 super chat says that's a GBO. I say 70-3. He said Vol World Order.
Yeah, I mean I like that.
Yeah. So I say you can go ahead and take this one, Coach.
All right, Carl, the accountant, the man that is there every Tuesday night, Boogie's main guy, him and Jason. Boogie's Mike, Dauber's Wi-Fi is the revenge of the cursor. Evidently, the cursor did something to Boogie, so we better watch out for the cursor. Make sure it don't get us. Go ahead, X.
All right, Knoxville Predator Catchers. I say thank you for the $10 super chat. I say I want to see Max Gilbert hit a 50+ yard field goal and Navy score. Yeah, I mean I definitely want to see that too.
I would love to see that. Get some of those walk-on guys in, maybe a
Okay.
drive or two at the end of the fourth quarter. Y'all, Max Gilbert's got a leg. That kid he was good from 60 plus on that field goal. He just barely missed wide left. He's legit. Captain Woodland Dorfee, thank you for the Dorfee. A Tennessee tornado is headed for Norman, Oklahoma. The defense is coming for OU and Nico is coming with them. You dang right, brother. I'm expecting big things going into that game. Their defense is pretty good, but they're having some struggles, and their offensive line. I don't know if y'all known this. Not only was it hurting before the season, but they've had 2 major injuries already in the season, and their offensive line is struggling. What's that mean for this Tennessee defensive line? They are going to eat. And I don't think that game will be close at all. I really don't.
Right. So final thoughts on NC State, Coach. I say so. How did you really feel about the game? You know, was you nervous? Was you a little disappointed? So what was your thoughts on the game?
Real quick, y'all, Boogie and Dauber are having technical difficulties. They'll get back in here in a second. But NC State, coming out early, which you expect the defense to kind of see what NC State's going to give them, and then this settle in. And that's exactly what happened. That first drive, they were kind of dumping and picking and popping all over the field. And once the defense got settled in, it was over. I mean, we talked about it. They didn't convert another third down the rest of the game. And the whole story of that game, there's 2 key storylines in that game. The defense is A1. Guys, we have a national championship worthy defense. People are talking about it all across the country. This D line is a monster, maybe the best D line as far as overall depth that Tennessee's ever had. And then you pair along with that an offense that is going to keep growing and keep getting better with a young QB that we've seen. I mean, he's already winning awards, which I know Nico don't care about that, but the national media just sees how good Nico can be. And when you pair that with a running game that ran the ball for 250 yards against what was supposed to be a pretty stout defense, not best defense we've ever seen, but a stout defense that was supposed to give us a little bit of problem. Well, I mean, Dylan Sampson and Deshaun Bishop just ran the ball down their throat. Granted, we gave them a little something they weren't prepared for in that 12 personnel, which going back and rewatching it 3 or 4 times I already have, they weren't ready for it. They were not prepared. They had to adjust on the fly, which is one thing that is good for Tennessee, because that means we can evolve. Coach Heupel's an offensive coach, and for him to be able to evolve from week to week, depending on who we're going against, where do we think we best can, create matchup nightmares against the other team. That's what Heupel did, and so I thought it was a great game. Good way to start, momentum wise going into the rest of the season. What about you, X? What's your final thoughts on the NC State game?
My final thoughts was that, like you said, Coach, that I like how Josh Heupel was able to adapt and to change the offense, because they knew going into this thing that they were going to run a 3-3-5, and they game planned, and then they executed it pretty well. And because at first, I was just like, why is our offense not going at the speed that it usually is? And I also liked how we got our tight ends involved with the game plan as well.
Yeah.
So I really like how they executed it there. And like I said, just trying to throw Nico different looks and stuff, but obviously it didn't work. So, but yeah, I mean, you got to be satisfied with this game. I mean, 51 points, and think about this too. Think about the times where we've played teams like this, and we struggled. I mean, we struggled, and like near by the fourth quarter, we've always had to fight to come back to get the dub. So it feels really good to to dump 51 on a top 25 team, and still to grow and learn from this, and to get better week by week.
Well, you think about it, we only gave up 3 points. We still haven't given up a touchdown last week, this week, and the Iowa game, which I know it's a different team, different culture and everything, but to go back 3 games in a row without giving up a touchdown, what's that say about our defense, Dauber, and what's it going to look like in the future?
Well, I mean, you just look back to when Tim Banks came on and how this defense has progressed year to year to year. That's the thing that I think is so impressive. Yeah, we were a little bit thin when he started, had some problems on the back end. It's gotten better. That back end is still, it's been an Achilles heel. It's still a question this year. Some people want to throw Willie Martinez under the bus and put the blame on that. But when you empty out the entire position group and fill it with new guys, that does kind of say something. But I think that there's a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball. You've got the best defensive line coach in the country. I think that what Heupel is doing, he said it in postgame last week, and he said it before. Tennessee is about being elite on defense.
Yeah.
He brought up names of some, really great guys, Reggie White, Eric Berry. There's a lot of others he didn't bring up. Big John Henderson, Albert Hainsworth, dudes, Raynock Thompson, Leonard Little. That's and you two young guys probably you don't know who I'm talking about.
I saw.
I'm about to say we know who Eric Berry is. I think
we know Eric Berry. We saw a little bit of the Al Wilson and a little bit.
Just
we
a little
were
bit.
early '90s, but we saw. We were young, but we saw them.
But I mean, I think that is the thing. We've seen Coach Heupel's schemes. Coach Heupel's teams, they're going to score points. The question has been, can he recruit? Can he have a team that plays defense? And I think you get to see those things. The recruiting and transfer portal, he's killing it. Dude is just hitting it out of the park with that. And man, I think defensively, he's got a good coordinator in Banks, who when he first came along was getting his coaching legs being the guy on defense. You're talking about a position coach that made the move to coordinator. I think he was a co-coordinator or something prior to coming here. But I think he's also getting his dudes in there.
Yeah.
Can you all hear me? Hold on. Oh, whoa.
Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
have got complete echo. Hold on here.
You actually don't sound like you're in a tunnel now.
Yeah,
No, I
I'm
know
about to say-
because this is exhausting. I'm on a laptop with a microphone. It won't StreamYard for some reason won't let me use my Yeti microphone with my webcam. It wants me to use my webcam audio. So it's a freaking nightmare. So I'm trying to get it fixed.
Well, we hear you fine.
Yeah,
man.
but we hear.
That's
you
because
fine.
I'm on my microphone is on here and now I'm hearing myself in my earphones. What an absolute disaster start to this show. Let's hit these couple of super chats real quick. I appreciate you guys holding it down, and you're probably gonna have to continue to hold it down. Rip for 5 for Coach Mayo / Joe Milton, making Jacoby Brissett, former NC State quarterback, wear a Tennessee hoodie. Yeah, I saw that floating around on Twitter. Coach J for 5 says, is our play starting to grab the class of 2026 kids' attention yet or not yet? I think it's going to be more in that Oklahoma game.
I think it's already hitting because Kendra Harrison's already taken notice. I mean, he saw, those North Carolina kids, both David Sanders' teammates, they were there. They were there at that NC State game and with David Sanders, and they noticed. They put out tweets saying, "Man, this is a team that's going to be special, and we want to come play with that. This is going to be fun." So I think they already taking notice in 26. I think it is 25 as well, but it's wait and see. Like Boogie said, like you said, bro, it's the Oklahoma game when they go out and dominate. It's going to take on even more.
Let me get this 20 spot from Brad. That's an Orange Boy. We'll play the clip. Do y'all know how annoying? Now I know how you all feel. You have to hear my stupid, hideous voice every day, and I just keep hearing the echo in my ear. Why is technology so stupid? We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top!
Brad for 20 says, GBO, great job, X and Coach Rice holding it down. This super chat is for Boogie's cursor. You want to see something even better? We can do this. I mean, I can have my camera working here. I can have my voice working over there. Like we can get weird with it. Like this is what we're working with right now. I don't know how to fix it. Like I wonder if I could hide that somehow. Well, who knows? Why is it a living hell?
Technology, man.
Let me get that off there. That looks stupid. Knox Predator catcher for 5. Anyone get BVS from watching a Florida backup QB light it up Saturday? Did Florida light it up Saturday?
He looked pretty good, but they struggled part of the game with Stanford. I'm not worried about it. They played lower.
Wait, say that again. Say that again, Coach Rice. With who?
Stanford.
Yeah, did Florida light it up? No.
And the QB looked okay, but their offensive line still looked like hot trash.
And Sunbelt Billy isn't going to go back to him this week, is what I saw. He's not getting the starting nod. It's going back to Mertz.
Going back to Mertz.
Yeah, but I say Mertz is going to be your starter. Yeah,
I think that changes a couple games.
Let's so what did you guys talk about while I was cussing in my office?
We broke down the final thoughts on NC State. Then we also talked about the prep and the get up of trying to prepare and get ready for Kent State. That's about and we covered a few super chats.
Okay.
And basically,
So this would be a good segue because, again, glorified scrimmage on Saturday. We'll make our predictions at the end of the show. But I want to talk about, you guys know I love me some ESPN FPI. I love it. I like it. And there were some changes to it this week. I want to kind of go through it, go look at it game by game. We're going to see. We're going to find out if has Dauber changed his mind on the Oklahoma game. But I want to start with this clip from Ron Slay. I saw it floating around Twitter. Let's see if I can find it. Everything is a living hell. X, why is everything a living hell? Why is it? Do you know? Yeah, we look at you down there. Gorgeous man, got that nice backdrop. Never has issues. It's always me and Dauber. Dauber, how the hell have we been doing this for like 8 years?
I don't know, man.
I mean, is this a sign that God's blessing y'all to pass the torch to me and Coach Rice?
That's what happened.
Don't put us right there. We ain't ready for that.
I appreciate a good man like Coach Rice saying, we need Boogie. We probably need Boogie around here. All right, let's take a listen to this. Ron Slay putting the college football world on notice. Let's take a listen.
Tennessee started the season with an ESPN FPI chance to make the playoffs 36.9%. It is now at 65.3% after outscoring their first two opponents 120-13. Tennessee, the projected win and losses is now at 10-2. Chance to win the conference 9.1%. Make the national championship game 14%.
Yeah.
Win the national championship 6.8%.
If y'all have ever seen Earth and loved it, don't let them win this national championship this year.
Wait.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What?
You saying Tennessee fans going to tear stuff up?
Oh, it's over for this Earth.
Like burning mattresses?
No,
and...
like explode. Like
they're gonna find a way to get to the core.
Man, everybody
just light a match.
Dude, I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you what. I'm telling you what God love. That's the truth. You want to remain on this earth, living in the fashion that you living. Don't let Tennessee win this national championship in no football. I'm telling you right now. You don't let it happen in basketball. Everything be like we're gonna go crazy, but everything be cool. Don't let Tennessee win no national championship in no football. The earth as you know it, no more.
Got that right.
Good night.
Let's hold on. Let's start with that. Coach Rice, I'll start with you because I know you'd probably be the worst.
Oh,
how obnoxious would you be?
Let's just say my neighborhood will be petrified. I'd be doing some crazy stuff, man. I wouldn't know where to start, man. Like you talking about just going crazy. I wouldn't know what to do. I tell you what, I wouldn't be able to sleep for about a week because I'd just be going crazy. I mean, it's unreal the nonsense and the stupidness I would do if Tennessee won the national championship. I would probably cry my ass off for about the first hour, and then because I'm just be too damn happy.
Dauber, would you cry?
You going streaking in the quad?
After the Alabama win.
Hey, I'm going streaking in the quad.
Going streaking in the quad.
I mean, I'll stand up.
Hey, listen. I'll be honest. In '98, I didn't appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were going to say you cried, and I was going to say I didn't appreciate it.
I did not appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, it was something that we were spoiled. Growing up in the time period that we did.
Yes, y'all were.
9 wins was, that was commonplace. 9 wins was bad. And then after going through what we've gone through the last 24 years, 25 years, we were begging for 9 wins.
Yeah.
So I cried when baseball won this year.
Yeah.
It was something super special. Sitting with my son, he's at that age right now where he's getting into sports and asking questions, and we're doing ball cards, and he's playing some pee-wee football right now. So he'll run around and play, be on his tablet, and then come sit with me and watch the games, and he knows players and talks about, but he sat and watched a majority of those College World Series games, and to be able to take that in and share that with him was something special. And man, to win another one in football, because they don't come around too often.
Yeah,
I know that there are some schools that have gone on runs and had some special stretches, but you look at kind of the history of it, and it's a very select company and few and far between. And I would definitely appreciate it a whole lot more than I did in 1998.
Oh yeah, and then too, like what you said, Dauber. I mean, for us, for Tony V to get it done in baseball, which we all knew it was coming, we just didn't know when. We knew it was soon, but this year it was very special. If you let Josh Heupel get us a national championship in the same year that this baseball team won the national championship, Lord have mercy.
Like Ron Slay said.
Yeah, Lord have mercy.
Like
And then
Ron
and
Slay
then on
said.
top of it, I'll go ahead and throw this in too. And I know everybody has their mixed opinions about it. Just to kind of little segue for a little bit. If Rick Barnes is to get this basketball team back to where it was going all the way, and if they win a national championship pretty soon, Lord have mercy. Knoxville, there won't be a Knoxville. I mean, there will not be a Knoxville, Tennessee, because I mean, oh yeah, just I mean, for us as an athletic department, dude, to come up so far from where we've been before, it's huge, man. It really is huge. It's definitely the true definition of it's great to be a Tennessee Volunteer if that happens.
Well, let's look at the numbers of it, because that's where I kind of wanted to segue off of Ron Slay's comments, because right there at the top of that, you had his co-host talking about ESPN FPI. Tennessee came in 5th in the FPI. Of course, they're ranked 7th in the AP poll, but chances to make the college football playoff before the season, 36.9%. I think most of us thought they were going to be right there on that borderline. I know Dauber's going to have an opportunity. He's going to have an opportunity to come to Jesus tonight, make things right, fix that Oklahoma pick, and get us back to the college football playoff. Some of us thought, some of us were confident, some of us said 11-1. Some of us may have been insane that night, or maybe we weren't. But 36.9% chance to make the college football playoff. Now it updates week by week as the numbers come in. 65.3% chance. Win the conference, 9.1%. National championship. How funny is this? 14%. You got a higher percentage of winning the Natty than you do the SEC. That's insane to me. Sorry, that's make the national championship. Win the national championship, 6.8%. So as we start to take a look at it, of course, Kent State still 99%. I don't even think we need to talk about it. I don't think we even need to talk about it. But we roll on down. We roll on down here to the Oklahoma game. Oklahoma, it's been kind of a coin toss. I think they actually had the advantage. Said here, the FBI gave Tennessee a 40.1%, easy for me to say, to win back in August. And then it said it updated 49.4 after last week's games. Now it is giving Tennessee a 66% chance. Also, Vegas, Tennessee is now a 2.5-point favorite on the road. They opened as a 5-point dog. Dauber, do you believe in AI? Do you think we should utilize AI, or do you think that we're going to be, taken out by robots?
I don't know. It's pretty scary stuff, man. We can't even figure out getting this stream to work. So
AI could, though. AI could. Maybe I need to utilize more AI. So have my point from 40% to 49% to 66%. Where's Dauber's FBI?
Oh man, this team has come out and they've shown me some stuff. Listen now, don't get this twisted. I think the majority of us were at 10-2. It was just different games.
Mm-hmm.
So
love you, Dauber.
Wait, what did you just say, Coach Russ?
I said I was 11-1.
I was 11-1.
I was 10-2.
Then you go back and forth.
Me? I started at 9-3, 10-2, and then I change every week. But once we get to game time, once we get to the season, and we went game by game, that's when I became insane or highly intelligent. I don't know which one.
The latter.
Hmm.
Go ahead and finish your statement, Dauber.
We'll stop attacking you.
No, I do think this team absolutely can go on the road to Norman and beat Oklahoma. It's going to take – there are some things to clean up from week 1 and week 2. Despite the scores and the way that Tennessee won, I do think you make some of those mistakes. It's going to be a lot tougher. But, man, I think Nico is the dude. and I think this defense is legit and it's for real. So, yeah, I said at the top of the show before I crapped out twice and went all robot. I do think that I'm pretty dang close to switching that pick, and I think I might be going 10 wins as well, or
Well,
11 wins.
and also too, like the confidence too, and Coach J can vouch for me on this comment I'm getting ready to say. But Nico, like I said, before the season start, and at his press conference, like he was the one to say, he said, because they asked him, they said, do you prefer road games or home games? He prefer away games. And as psychotic as that is to say, and no, it's not being cocky or anything like that, saying that they don't lose in Florida or nothing like that. Throw a dart at the dartboard if you want to. But no, I mean, you just want that dog mentality from your leadership in Nico. And when we play Oklahoma, I mean, we're going to get a chance to see that. How well does Nico perform in a hostile environment where, like I say, your back's up against the wall and those fans are going to go crazy, especially with the whole storyline of, Josh Heupel coming back there. So it's going to be very exciting to see. And I just have this slight feeling that like Nico's just going to ball out. If he says that he loves to play in hostile environments and he loves that kind of pressure and stuff, and it's just what all the greats say, like, yeah, they say that they love, playing at home in front of the fans and stuff like that. But like, you're great athletes of all the sports, they say that, they love hostile environments because it gives them that challenge. It gives them that edge to push them even further to greatness. So, but yeah, definitely cannot wait to see that from Nico.
Let me hit a couple of super chats and then we'll get in here, Coach Rice. Seth Binkley for 2 says, Boomhauer is Coach Rice's spirit animal. Is that a compliment? I would take it.
Hell yeah, it is. I'll take it.
I love it. Gary Sisk for 5. Their O-line will not stop our defensive front all Vol, baby. Something, since I didn't get to partake in the NC State talk, going into that game, we talked about it on Locked On Vols. NC State's offensive line should have been a streak. They have a first-round draft pick at tackle. They returned 4 out of 5 guys on that line. Should have been a streak. Tennessee embarrassed them. Whipped them all day long. Bob White, Lightning, a member for 14 months. We appreciate you, brother. If you're not a member, fix that. Because we need to get some more members here so we can figure out how to work technology. I need to hire an assistant, somebody that knows how to work a microphone and a camera. Clearly, I don't. Bob, been a member for 14 months. Bama has never beaten Heupel on Rocky Top. Not going to happen this year. Ceiling, 16-0. Floor, 12-1. Appreciate you, Bob. John Mills drops a 20 spot. That's Orange Boy. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top!
For 20. We appreciate you, brother. Wife gave me an early birthday present. Going to watch our Vols spank Florida, regardless of the quarterback Florida uses. We can roll on down here. Let's roll on down here just a little bit.
I got one more thing I want to say about Oklahoma.
No, we're going to come back. Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
We're coming back to Oklahoma, but go ahead.
All right. Well, I was just going to say, Nelson spoke on it, and I kind of mentioned it earlier. Guys, Oklahoma's not going to score more than 17 on us. They're just not. And you must be out your damn mind if Tennessee don't score more than 17, because I mean they're gonna. I don't even think that game's gonna be close. And for Oklahoma to be having offensive line issues against the best defensive line in the country, it spells nightmares for them. And so that's all I got about that.
Let's roll down and take a look at the FPI. Of course, Oklahoma jumping up to 66%. That fires me up. And take this like a grain of salt. I like the FPI. I think it is a true gauge of college football versus some guy sitting in an office that didn't watch any games, right? And he's just like, I'm going to rank this team here, that team there, don't really care. But Oklahoma, 66%. Arkansas on the road, 77%. Look at this. Florida, the Gators.
I love that.
And that super chat that came in, getting to go watch a game. Was it early birthday present? Not a first game, but an early birthday present. John Mills getting to go watch Tennessee take on Florida. 89.9%. Look at this. Let's roll down. Let's go. Let's go way down here to the bottom. They have more of a chance, Coach Rice, of beating Florida
than they do Vanderbilt. Is
Oh.
Sunbelt Billy going to survive?
No.
Higher odds to beat Florida than Vanderbilt? X, how does that make you feel? I know you love some Gators.
Nah, the hell I don't do. Nah. Like I said, Sunbelt Billy, man, nah, he gonna be out of a job. He's probably gonna be out of a job way before we see him coming into Neyland. So yeah, that, and like I said, where's Josh Prey? Like I said, because he's gonna eventually switch over teams and he's gonna come over to the good guys side and just tell him like, listen, man, it's all good. We understand. You just had a miss. I don't know. Like, we can adopt you into the family. It's okay.
No,
We can
X,
adopt you in.
he's not welcome here. He's
He's
not
not welcome here.
I'm
He's
not
welcome.
welcome. Not on my channel. Not on my watch.
But yeah, Sunbelt Billy, man, in Florida, dude. Like, yeah, they ain't got no chance, man. Like, obviously have one of the toughest schedules like ever this year. And of course, I don't feel bad for them whatsoever. I mean, it is what it is. Let them suffer, the down years just like we suffered. But now also looking at that Alabama there. Yeah, scrolling down. Now Alabama, not gonna lie, I had that as an L. I'll go ahead and pull a Dauber on this one. I have us as an L just because of the fact that it's still Alabama. That talent that we saw, last season when Nick Saban was the head coach, that talent is still there, even though they got a new head coach. It's just, am I trying to get excited for that? I mean, eventually when we get there, I will be. But as of right now, I have that as a loss just because it's Bama. The talent is there. And like I said, I mean, you can easily call this game a toss-up if you want to. But for me, I just have it as an L just because of the talent that Bama has.
It's in Knoxville.
Tell them, Boogie.
That wasn't me. My internet works. My camera doesn't.
It was the robot.
Oh, it was the robot.
It was the robot. Yes, robot. I know it's in Knoxville. I know that. But it ain't going to be no easy cakewalk, though. It's not.
Will you change your mind after Wisconsin beats them this weekend?
Oh, yeah. Then most definitely. And the fact that they struggled last year with South Florida is even crazier than me. But like I said,
it's at Wisconsin. I think I wish it was going to be freezing up there, but I think Wisconsin hands them an L this weekend. I mean, that's my bold prediction for the weekend. But the game, I'm actually more worried about the at Arkansas game than the at Oklahoma game because I think they've got an identity. I know early in the season we were saying Arkansas may be, Sam Pittman may be on his way. And he may be. But I think Arkansas has made themselves an identity. And going into that game at Arkansas, granted, it's after a bye, which I don't think Josh Heupel loses after byes. But I'm just, that shows you how much I'm not worried about Oklahoma if I'm more confident in that than Arkansas.
I was worried about Oklahoma. I've said all offseason it's the biggest game of the season because I think it catapults you, it launches you into the rest of the year. But the thing for me is seeing this defense. We knew the defensive line. We thought the front seven. We knew the defensive line was going to be good. And then you're just seeing them reap the rewards of that, right? I talked about it in the video this morning, talking about where's James Pierce. Everybody's freaking out about James Pierce. Couldn't care less. He was taking on double teams, triple teams, and guess what? Omar Norman-Lott, Dominic Bailey, all these other guys are feasting because teams are focused on James Pierce. But we're also seeing the linebackers play better because of the defensive line. The secondary, I truly think it's better. We come out here with bold takes and say, I think the secondary is going to be better. Everybody's talking about it, more athletic, more speed. But when you see it and you realize how good Jermod McCoy is, how good Ricky Gibson is, I think this defense can beat, man, if they show up, nobody's beating Tennessee. Nobody. And they just, we say, just be efficient, right? Just go out and be efficient. And this offense is going to score enough points. What happens when Nico and this offense are going out and scoring 50, 60 points, and this defense is locking you down, shutting you down? 51-10 over NC State, and people acting like that's not good enough. You kidding me? We're dangerous this year, boys. We're dangerous. Let me tell you, there ain't nobody in the country that wants to look at the college football playoff bracket and see Tennessee across from them.
Yep, exactly. Hard to prepare for.
Let's see. I guess the only other things, Alabama 43.8, and then of course Georgia 30.8% chance to win. If Tennessee beats Oklahoma, they beat Arkansas, they beat Florida. Dauber, how you feel about that Alabama game? It's in Knoxville.
It's in Knoxville. Listen, we go into that Alabama game undefeated. There is no way they are coming to town and leaving with anything more than a big old fat L.
Yep.
I
Second that.
I am not sold on DeBoer as a coach
either.
that can cut it in the SEC. And you know, take that for what it's worth. I know Alabama has had a run, and you know they've still got a lot of horses in the stable, but we've seen what having talent and you know athletic people can do without coaching. You know, it doesn't add up. And I'm not saying he's not a good coach. He did a lot of good things out on the West Coast in kind of soft, you know, conference. And, you know.
I'm glad Coach Jay's not in here. Do they play football in California, Dauber? I don't think they do. They probably play soccer and tennis. They rollerblade.
You know, listen, I think that it's one of those things. He has to prove it. He has to prove it. And it's a grind in the SEC week in and week out. And I mean, could they get it done? Yeah, they could. But I'm rolling with Nico and this defense and Tim Banks and what's cooking in Knoxville right now.
You dang right.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. You don't think he's secretly starting Talkin Trojans? He's got numbers like this just in his back pocket. We make a joke. We just make a joke. That's all we do. And he's like, 20-2, 2-0 versus the SEC. Wow. Wow, Coach Jay. You guys, well, let me hit these real quick. Austin Stubblefield, member for 10 months. We appreciate you. If this team stays healthy, we go all the way. Man, particularly on the offensive line, you got to stay healthy in the secondary. I think you got some depth at other places, but yeah, offensive line's definitely got to stay healthy. Volunteer Tennessee, member for 2 months. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Think about hitting that join button. We would greatly appreciate it. Need your support. Keep the lights on around here. We can't keep cameras on, but I bet if enough people join the channel, maybe we can. Now, I've seen a lot of you guys talking about this clip, the Oklahoma podcast. That's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at that. Then we'll do our Kent State predictions, but let's pull this up. Let's take a listen. There's so many different angles we can go with this, but oh, wow. At least they all have their cameras on. I'll give them credit. They look professional. I'm going to try to not insult people. Let's just roll the clip.
Too worried. I don't believe, right? Some people believe the hype. Like, oh, this Tennessee looks scary. It's Tennessee. So.
Okay. I can't even make it. I can't even make it 3 seconds into it. It's Tennessee. It's Tennessee.
When we run your ass, you ain't gonna want to. I mean,
you just beat Houston 16-12.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, bro, you should be way up on Houston, bro. Like, come on now, like that. Oh, you can't make this up, guys. You can't make
Houston
this up.
lost 27-0 to UNLV. UNLV the week before. You're kidding me, right? You're kidding. UNLV.
We made it 8 seconds, and then me and Coach Rice both started yelling. Let's let him talk. Let's let him talk. Maybe they misspoke. Let's start it over.
Too worried. I don't believe, right? Some people believe the hype. Like, oh, this Tennessee looks scary. It's Tennessee. So.
Can you imagine? I can't make it 8 seconds again. Having the balls to say that with that score in the bottom right-hand corner, like the arrogance, the confidence, 16-12. Okay.
I mean, the game looks scary. That's wrong.
I mean, they did look scary though. Like
if they were that scary, their coach would be our coach because he desperately wanted to be. And
let's start there, Coach Rice. If they were scary, their coach would be our coach because he desperately wanted to be. Does anybody need a history lesson of what happened to Josh Heupel? It would be the equivalent. It would be the equivalent of Philip Fulmer hiring T. Martin as his offensive coordinator, and we all know old Fulmer was scheming and scamming. He was working on it. He was Game of Thrones when all the stuff happened with Jeremy Pruitt. He was working it, and then he got canned too. He got sent packing too. But he was trying to set up the golden goose, T. Martin, to come in here. We know what he was doing. But it would be like Philip Fulmer hiring T. Martin, his national championship quarterback, letting him work there for I don't know how many years, and then firing him, making him the scapegoat, running him out of town. Coach Rice, Josh Heupel in the University of Oklahoma or Oklahoma University, or we beat Houston by 4 points adversity. Josh Heupel got some bad blood there.
Is it just me, or is that dude in the top right very punchable? I mean, he just looks like one of those guys you want to punch.
And I mean, bro, you see his other like co-hosts over here. They're like, dude, you.
I mean,
hey,
one
you
dude's got a
on
Cubs hat on, so that ain't helping matters. But I mean, no, Coach Heupel.
At least the guy, hold on. At least the guy in the Cubs hat called the punchable guy, called him out.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. And I mean, I kind of want to see the rest of the stupidity, but there's no way. Like Coach Heupel don't want to go back to Oklahoma. Like it just don't. They did him wrong. Like they fired him after he won a national championship with him as quarterback, and it's not like they weren't being successful with him as coordinator. It's just they did him wrong. That he don't want to be at Oklahoma. He wants to be where he is because, I mean, he wouldn't be putting in forth all the effort in the where we're at if he didn't want to stay at Tennessee. He knows what he's got at Tennessee, and that ain't changing.
I mean, it's just when we play these fools, boy, I'm gonna just say it's just Oklahoma. I mean, might as well just start a trend. It's just Oklahoma.
He was used as a scapegoat for Stoops.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
The team was struggling, and Stoops as the coordinator. Well, the offense can't score points. That's why we're struggling. And right or wrong, that happens. Coaches all the time buy another season. You get Butch Jones. Butch Jones was saying
Robert, you're cutting out. They're gonna clip us and attack us and be like, at least our internet and cameras work. We got no chance. Let's hear more. Dauber, you're roboting out again.
And we bullied him out of town. We ran him out of town because the last time our offense looked this bad was when he was running it. It is.
Can you imagine trying to insult Josh Heupel and act like he can't coach offense when we led the nation in scoring in 2022? Like, and right now, number two in the country in scoring. And I get it. We're 2 games into this thing. We played Chattanooga and NC State. NC State, a top 25 program. Move the goalpost. Go ahead and do that. But second in the nation in scoring. 60 points a game, Coach Rice. You're saying we're going to score more than 2022. Yep. But these clowns, these goofs, are trying to act like Josh Heupel can't coach offense. It's comical, man. Comical.
It's hilarious. It's literally like they remind me of these, students that don't watch the game and they have no football IQ, and they're just, hey, I'm going to go create a podcast and say, like he absolutely knows nothing and doesn't have any history. Doesn't have anything at his hand to where he can spit off some knowledge. It's Homer bias because he thinks Oklahoma's some glory team. Like,
and listen,
been relevant since
Baker Mayfield. There were that, and then like I said, you've been good when you had Baker Mayfield. And I mean, yeah, like I said, and that's another reason why too. Can't wait to see Oklahoma because we owe them for that game for sure. Definitely for sure.
All right, let's hear more of these guys.
It's true.
Well,
it's true.
Yeah. Well,
it's true. What's just good? Look at that smirk. I think the guy on the top left has more of a punchable face. Coach Rice, watch this. Listen to this idiot.
Yeah. Well, that's a separate thing, right? I've long said that any OU coach who loses to Josh.
True.
He was running it.
It is true.
That's true.
Well, I don't. Yeah. Well, that's a separate thing, right? I've long said that any OU coach who loses to Josh Heupel should be fired on the spot. No excuses, no regardless of performance. But that's neither here nor there.
It's going to be a bad
All right,
season.
so Nick Saban should be fired on the spot. Nick Saban should be fired on the spot, you stupid. Yeah, well, all right. Calm down, Ryan. Calm down. Calm down.
Oh my gosh. I knew when Nelson sent me this, and then Brad sent it to me on Facebook, and then Dauber sent it to me. I'm like, this is gonna set everybody off. Everybody gonna go off the rails.
I mean,
And you know it'd be me.
but just remember, guys, it's just Oklahoma.
That's right. It's just Oklahoma. Let's see. We got a new member. Shout out Todd Landers. We appreciate you. Thank you for the support. Think about hitting that join button so I can buy me a new camera and an assistant to figure out how to use StreamYard. Captain Willing for 2. We have to shut these fools up. Hashtag tip the wagon. Somebody said Boogie's going to sick Vol Twitter on them. They're already on them, bro. That you go read the comments on that.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
They're attacking them
Twitter's
hard.
undefeated. Tennessee Twitter's undefeated.
Let's get ready to tie a big fat bow on this. Is this the worst stream we've ever done?
Maybe.
It started out pretty bad.
Maybe.
It might be.
I didn't slam the camera down this time.
I don't know if that was bad or if it was epic. I don't know. I said last night I was going to release the text messages. I had some text messages from Dauber that night when he slammed his camera and told me to shut the F up. And nobody wants to know why I'm yelling at Dauber. They don't see that. They just see me yelling at him. I'm looking at my phone and it says, shut the F up. Well, okay. We'll see what happens. Shout out Dauber. That's my guy. Shot by Andrew for 2. What's up, guys? Appreciate you. Shot by Andrew. You know, Dauber's the type of guy, man, oh, man, we could probably get in a fist fight. And the next morning we'd be best friends again and have no problems with it. Let's move in to this glorified scrimmage. Let's make some dang predictions. Tennessee, Kent State, 99% chance Tennessee wins this game according to the ESPN FPI. Man, I had a great quote. I had all kinds of fun talking points that I didn't get to. Tennessee open 47.5-point favorite. The line's now up to 49. Kent State got beat by Pitt 55-24. Can anybody tell me who the heck St. Francis is and where they're at?
It's a Division II school in Pennsylvania.
Come on, Coach Rice. You're such a loser. Nobody else on this show could have answered that other than you and me, and only because I looked it up. They lost to St. Francis 23-17.
Never led.
They're scoring 20.5 points a game. That's 107th in the country. They're giving up 39 a game. That's 126th in the country. I guess Coach Rice and Coach Jay are going to break this thing down for you guys Saturday morning, so tune in for that. But let's make our official predictions. Coach Rice, I'll let you kick it off.
All right. My biggest thing out of this is get out of this game healthy. It's supposed to be raining in East Tennessee, I think, starting tomorrow. And going all the way through Saturday afternoon. I think it's supposed to be fine by game time, but a wet field, going up against a team like this just scares the crap out of me. Not because the game, just because of injuries. And so, score 28 in the first quarter. Maybe let Nico run one more drive in the second quarter and then pull the starters out. I want to see a lot of Gaston Moore and Jake Merklinger, even give Navy Schuler a drive or two there at the end.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and just run the ball. I'll early in the game, especially if it's not raining. I want to see them pass the ball around the yard. That way we can show we've done both in both games. I think Dylan Sampson, even through maybe 3 or 4 drives, still hits the 100-yard mark. I think he bust a 75-yarder in this game. I'm calling it now. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 64-0. Tennessee. I think it'll be 42-0 at halftime. And the third strings and walk-ons take control of the whole second half.
Go ahead, X.
Like I said, man, there's really not much to say. It's Kent State, y'all. I mean, you can easily run up the score on these fools in NCAA like it's a glorified scrimmage is what this is. But piggybacking off of what Coach Rice said too, that yeah, biggest thing is with this game is everybody comes out healthy, clean football, clean up some of the mistakes that you were having trouble with last game with NC State. And I believe, like I said, this offense is going to go crazy. And I believe this offense is going to pick up on this regular tempo. And Nico actually brought up a good point during the Chattanooga game, which I hope they do it in this game. Is that yeah, just put on their throats, man. Like you cannot relent up on this team right here. Because yeah, if you want to show the college football world that you mean business and that you're going to the playoffs, eventually competing for a national championship, you cannot let up on this team, this easy team. So and then of course our defense is going to eat just like always. James Pierce is going to eat. That defensive line, everybody is. And also, I hope Brooks gets a few interception picks. And I believe Boogie owes that man an apology. But
I don't know him anything. What I owe is Joshua Joseph's praise for getting to the quarterback and forcing a horrible throw. And then I need to thank Keenan Peely for laying the wood and a block. And Will Brooks. I think if Coach Rice was playing safety and he was sitting there, I think he could probably have housed it. Jacoby Thomas, I'm ready to see him start at safety. I said what I said.
Second that.
I second that.
No disrespect. I love Will Brooks. I love anybody that reps the power T. I think Jacoby Thomas is going to be an upgrade at safety. Sorry.
And
I agree.
I will say one more thing. I don't think Kent State gets on the other side of the 50. I don't see it happening unless it's raining and we have a fumble. That's the only way. I don't think they're going to drive the ball past the 50 if they start, on their side. It ain't going to happen. This defense, their offensive line is awful, y'all. And I'm going to get into all that in our keys come Saturday. But guys, it's bad. They are awful.
Yeah, so with that being said, my score prediction is give me, man, 66 to nothing. I mean,
back-to-back blanks.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump in. Hold on. I'm going to jump in, and I'm going to put the pressure on Dauber because I've already got my prediction, typed in. I can't change. I could change it. I could cheat. I'm going blank, too. 73 to nothing. This is going to be a beatdown. It is going to be – and let me tell you something. Let me tell you why. There's so many times that teams score in mop-up duty, right? Idris Farouk is why. Jalen Smith is why. Jordan Ross is why this team, Kent State, is not going to score a single point. I like Coach Rice's bold take. They may not cross midfield. May not happen. I was listening to VolQuest, their podcast, and they were talking about, bold takes. And it was, there's going to be a special teams or a defensive touchdown. Who is it? What happens? And I think there was a Jermod Coy pick 6. Somebody said Arian Carter pick 6. Give me Squirrel White. Punt return, house call. Return. He has been so close. He has been a game changer that we're not really talking about enough. We wanted to see Boo Carter back there. Squirrel White. Squirrel White is great back there returning punts. Give me the ball, 7-3-0. Absolute domination. I'm sitting here thinking, should we do a watch party? Should we do a watch party on Saturday night? Because I think there might be 3 people in the chat for the post game. Everybody's going to be asleep by halftime. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about doing a watch party. If you're watching this on the replay, leave me a comment. You want a watch party or do you want a true post game show? I don't know. Something worth thinking about. Diver, give us your prediction.
Man, hard to follow up 3 shutouts. I think Boyle has a murder on the dance floor. It's going to be a murder at Shield Watkins Field. It is going to be pretty ugly for the visitors. Nico's going to roll for, hopefully quarter and a half. Defense, like X said, they're going to eat. You have a lot of dudes playing, getting some young guys in the game. And that is how, as a team, you build the future. You get guys in game.
He gone. What the hell, man? Good Lord. This stream.
70 to he comes in fourth shutout, 70-0. Go. I hear it. Dauber speaking into our telepathy. So I hear it now.
70-0. I think that's what I heard.
70-0.
Nikki's onto something here. Do a watch party and then kind of roll right into a post game show. I'm really
That sounds good.
thinking about it.
I'd be down for the watch.
Yeah.
You know, we did a watch party for the Alabama game when JG went rogue. What a game to do a watch party. Crazy.
That was crazy.
Eric B. Jones for 5. Them Oklahoma guys are, come on.
Hey,
Go Chime in Tennessee, going to smoke Oklahoma. Thank you, Eric. We appreciate you, brother.
Hey, my bold is Omari Thomas, big dude, getting a fumble return for
Scoop
touchdown.
Scoop and scored.
Please let it be 40 yards or more. That would be epic.
That would be epic. I would love to be 40 yards more, but I'm thinking it's going to be they're going to be at the 10-yard line. James Pierce is going to embarrass the left tackle, strip fumble. Omari Thomas, big dog, is going to pick it up and just and then give the Heisman on him.
he go hit that trigger left. I'm posing.
He gonna hit the celebration.
I'm posing. You guys couldn't see it earlier either. Dauber was talking. I'm up here doing the robot, and nobody can see me. Nobody can see me because we don't have internet around here. We don't have cameras around here. I'm gonna get it fixed. I think if I reset StreamYard, it'll probably work because on my laptop, clearly it let me use the microphone. So I think I just need to reset StreamYard, get it dialed in. We'll get it fixed. Hey, we're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not IT support. We're diehard, passionate, psychotic Tennessee fans. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate Coach Rice and Dauber. Not Dauber. Dauber didn't do anything. The X Factor for holding the fort down for me. Appreciate those guys. Love those guys. Friday morning, 10 a.m. Me, Coach Shay, going to be going live. Hopefully, we'll be dialed in, ready to go. But that is going to wrap it up for the Robot Man, for the X Factor, for Coach Rice. My name's Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
That we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive.